Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne. Now, since the advent of lockdown and all the rest of it, I've been speaking to many of the great and the good involved in music. Gentleman whom I've got now is the son of undoubtedly one of the greatest and the biggest names in music in Ireland, and quite literally when we talk about legends, this gentleman was a true legend. His name still lives on, his music still lives on, and thousands upon thousands of people speak in the highest possible terms of the man he was and also his music. I'm delighted to have online Thomas McBride, son of the legendary and the one and only Big Tom McBride. Thomas, how are you? Nice to speak to you.
Hello, Jerry, and nice to speak to you, and thanks very much for them caring words about Dad. Very much appreciated, Jerry.
No, so it's a real pleasure. As you know, as you can tell, I've been the same as with so many others. I've been a big fan of him and his music for many years. He certainly left an incredible legacy behind.
Definitely left a legacy behind, Jerry. His music will always live on, so it will. Yeah, Dad was he probably didn't know how big he was. He was a very ordinary man, so he was. But it's great that the likes of yourself and all the other radio stations still plays his music, and it will live on with the help of God.
Indeed so. That is one thing actually that I was going to say to you. I found that the very first time I met him, I found it just unbelievable that he just did not have any sense of how popular or how big he was. He was the most incredibly humble, just ordinary person you could ever meet.
Yes, you hit it on the nail there, Jerry. Humble. That's exactly what Daddy was. A very humble man. Yeah, look at Daddy's everyday life was getting up, putting on the old clothes, out on the tractors, the quad spinning around the road, visiting the different farmers and that. That was Daddy's lifestyle during the day. You know what I mean? He never was a short and tight man. Never was. Indeed,
truly, you know, it is truly incredible. He, you know, and he never saw himself in any way, shape, or form as a star or anything else like that.
Oh God, no, Jerry. No, definitely didn't.
You know, he just, and I think he actually found it. He kind of found it a little bit strange that people actually, you know, were looking up to him as a star and looking up to him as though he was, an incredible artist and all that. He just never ever took any of that on whatsoever.
Maybe embarrassing, Jerry, was maybe the proper word for that. He was probably embarrassed that he never realised how big he was and how popular he was, you know.
Yes, I think it possibly was that. You know, he sort of, you know, he appeared to have that sort of thing that he was just, you know, the same as everybody else. It didn't matter what anybody else did or anything else. He just continued on to do that. I mean, it must have been a different sort of a lifestyle when you were growing up as a child. I mean, you know, particularly when you were younger. I mean, he was really busy. I mean, he was out on the road many nights each week.
Yeah, well, when we were at school, me, Dermot, Ash and Siobhan, we hardly ever seen Dad, so we didn't. You'd be lucky, we'd be way after school, and when you come home, Daddy'd be gone, because the roads weren't as good as they are now. The journeys was a lot harder, Jerry, and maybe the Saturday or the Sunday was the only time you probably met Daddy before he went off to work and that. You know, it was tough that time, so it was. Mum was the backbone of the family. She kept us all together. She cracked the whip, so she did. And when she cracked the whip, she stood up, Jerry.
yes, I can well believe it. Even though I'll have to say, I knew your mum as well. She never struck me as an authoritarian type figure.
She was like a tell you different, Jerry.
Okay. But the thing was, I mean, it must have seemed quite strange to you, all right. Like that he was, you never saw him except, as you say, on a during the day on a Saturday or Sunday when you're away to school. I mean, he was gone when you returned from school, because, as you say, the roads weren't that good, and he could be travelling to any place in Ireland.
Of course, yeah, any place in Ireland is right, Jerry. So, I mean, from our house now to Cork, you'll do it in about 3.5 hours. That time it would have took about 6 hours,
Indeed, yes, that was the thing.
The journeys was every town you had to go through. There was no bypass from towns that time, so there wasn't.
Indeed, that is very, very true. I mean, you obviously grew up. It must have been sort of surreal in a way that when you were growing up as a child, that your father was being played on radio. He was appearing on television. His picture was in the press, and posters up on on roads around towns. Didn't matter where you went in Ireland, you would possibly see a poster for Big Tom on the mainliners or Big Tom on the Travellers.
You say that, Jay. We would never pass any remarks on that. We were going up, so we were young and we done our own thing, and it was only in the latter lives, around 14 or 15, we started a wee band of our own, the cousins we called ourselves, and we were around the pubs and that, and you'd only realise then people saying to you, God, your father was great and Rock Curry last night, or in Bella Bay or something like that, but you never passed any remarks, you never got to the dances,
Right. I suppose it was the way you grew up. I mean, it was your normality, I suppose.
Yeah, when Daddy was home, he was Daddy. You know what I mean? He was no superstar or country star. Or that he was Daddy. He was a family man, and that's the way we took it at it.
Indeed, and you followed to a degree in the footsteps of your dad. Do you do some singing yourself?
Well, I try, Jerry. I try. Yeah, it was always a fetish of mine to do a bit. Unfortunately, I have a regret that I didn't start before Daddy. He probably would have helped me along, but I started late 2018, so I did, and went on from that, and recorded a song with the late Rose McConnell, a wee duet, so I did, and it's a nice wee song. I enjoyed singing it with Rose and that. Unfortunately, Rose is no longer with us. I played with Rose in the band for 3 or 4 years, and I enjoyed every minute of it and that. But I like out entertaining people. People likes to hear me, and I once they like it, Jerry, I don't mind doing it.
Indeed. Yes, Rose McConnell indeed was a giant name from around that area.
Oh, Jesus, Rose was great. I know, was a lady. She was an absolute lady, so she was. She was from the Carduff area, so she was.
Indeed, yes. Indeed, a lady who was many, many years involved in the community, indeed involved in music. I know it's certainly it's a very different way of we all have of living at the moment with COVID and everything else. Do you intend going out again on the road, like when eventually things get back to normal?
Oh God, I do, surely, Jerry. Before that, in March last year, I was intending to go out with the band and that. I was rehearsing and that, and so I had to pull all the dates that I had. So yeah, definitely, Jerry. Itching to get back out there again.
Indeed, I'd well believe that. That's the sort of everybody involved in music, is saying that, like, they just can't wait to kind of get out and back in action once again, and out meeting the people. Are there any other of your siblings that are involved in music in any way?
Well, no. Well, Dermot, Dermot, my brother Dermot, he played with Dad for years, and that. So he was playing with the Outlaws up till last year or the year before that.
Yes.
No, there's nobody else now, so there isn't. Right. Myself and Dermot, just.
Right. That's right, indeed. I remember Dermot playing indeed with the Outlaws, and the talent definitely remained on. I think with yourself and with Dermot in the music vein, anyhow.
Yeah, well, funny enough, Dermot played with Dad, and I played with Dad. So I did. The time of the travellers, I drummed with Dad, so I did.
Right.
And I enjoyed every minute of it, so I did.
I would say that. But it's it must be a great experience for yourself to be able to actually play with somebody like your dad, because I mean he was so many years and such an incredible and tremendous experience in music.
Yeah, it was a great experience, Jerry. Every night was an experience. It was. You never played to an empty hall. It was always jam packed, and the people took you in as one of their family members. They were that good to the world. People were so good to the world. Open hearted.
Indeed. There were so. I think there were so many. That was one interesting thing. Actually, there were so many people of the followers of your father who were like that, and they were just they treated you as a friend, as a neighbour, and that was it. It didn't matter where they lived or where they were from.
Yeah, especially when you went to the Galtymore, well, Jerry. I played in the Galtymore a few times with Dad. My God, anybody wanted to hear what life was back at home and that, and so you were only glad to sit down and talk to them and that, and give them a wee bit of news, what was happening around home and that, as probably you know yourself, Jerry.
Indeed. So the Galtymore was certainly was an institution in London.
Oh God, yeah, Daddy opened it and he closed it as well, as you know well, Jerry. Yeah, it was a prayer meeting place for all the Irish and a bit of a chat and all that, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. I was actually there both nights. He played 2 nights in a row, at the final 2 nights in the Galtry, and I was actually there both nights, and they were truly incredible.
Yeah, I was there myself, Jerry. Actually, I think it's the first time I ever seen Daddy crying on stage.
Right.
When they sang O Lang Syne, for the last time in the Galtymore, I think I never seen Dad cry before. You know what I mean? That was the first I'd ever seen him crying on stage.
Indeed, it was
history bit closing there, Jerry, for that.
Indeed so. It was, it was very sad, and so many people have said to me after. I mean, it's very sad when you actually literally go to Cricklewood Broadway and there is nothing there. The huge Galtymore building is completely gone.
That's right. I worked for Jimmy Buckley for 4.5 years, and I went down past it one day, and all the way there's a big empty space there. It's an eerie feeling, isn't it, Jerry?
It is. It definitely is. It's sort of a surreal, because of all over the years, of the many thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of people who danced in the Galtymore.
Yeah, I remember nights, Paddy's night. Daddy always played in the Galtymore, and Joe Dole on the other side of it. My God, what a crowd! What an atmosphere!
Indeed, absolutely astounding. I remember those days, and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, both of the halls were just chock-a-block packed.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that you could get as many people in through one door, couldn't you?
Indeed.
Tower.
Indeed, absolutely, absolutely incredible. I'll have to say some great memories. One of the things is that you, over the years, your father has won just so many awards and gold discs and things like that. There must be a huge amount of them remaining.
Well, funny enough, just before Mommy passed away, God rest her, about a year before that, she done up a trophy room for Dad, so she did put our safe there, and thanks be to God, everything's there to look at and go through, and memorabilia and all that. So it's great that she had the time and thought of doing that. It's great to go down into the room there and have a look at that, Jerry.
I'd well believe that. I mean, it must be something to behold, because I mean, I remember from way back. I mean, even in the early 70s, some of the the gold discs he was getting, the various awards he was getting at that time, and that just kept on going. More and more awards kept as the years went on, just kept piling. It was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, some Monday mornings you come down, or Sunday mornings you come down the stairs and there'd be an award there, she was, and you you'd just be reading it. It was maybe Teardrops in the Snow, or some other song that he got it for,
Yes, it was incredible. It was absolutely. It was surreal. It really was the amount of awards. I mean, he won every award that possibly there could have been in country music in Ireland.
Yeah, and I don't know if your listeners know, Jerry, that he holds the biggest record in London there, in the park there, for 82,000 people.
That's right.
In Roundwood Park.
That's right, in Roundwood Park, yes, indeed, at the Irish Festival. That was phenomenal, baby. That's right, it was 83,000, and it was some of the pictures I have seen of that particular event, and there were quite literally some people literally hanging out of trees to get a view.
That's right, yeah. Funny enough, that weekend we played, I think the weekend we played closing the Galtymore. Maybe before that, we were over there with the mainliners as well, and they done a spot in that Roundwood Park. And I just realised the size of that park that day, and the big stage was set up, and that a phenomenal, a beautiful spot.
Indeed so. And it is absolutely huge, it really is, and it's it's incredible, like that. The 83,000. It is a phenomenal record. It really is.
Yeah, it is very, very good. And they still talks about Paddy King, an uncle of mine, he was playing in the band. He still talks about it, so he does.
Yes, I'd well believe it.
Yeah.
I'd well believe it. Yes, indeed. I actually know Paddy indeed from back in the day, and there's some great memories there. Thomas, listen, it's been fascinating catching up with you. Listen, I wish yourself, all the rest of the family, all the very best. Stay safe and stay well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back in action as soon as it's safe for us all to get back out and about once again.
And same here, Jerry. And I can't wait to get back out. And I wish all your listeners a very, very happy New Year, and the same to yourself, Jerry, and hope to see you, and thanks very much.